everybody? I am Jay Shady and you're listening to, once again, the voice of reason. So I said around SummerSlam time I'd come back, and I am a man of my word. So I'm back. I'm here for the SummerSlam haul, the SummerSlam run. This was my first time watching Raw in literally exactly a month's time, pretty much. So, some new things have happened, some new feuds have culminated that since I've been away. And I'm here to report on my opinions of them. Now this show itself, I thought it was an okay show. I know I've heard a lot of people that hated the show, that thought it was horrible, because it didn't have that much wrestling in it, but the thing is, maybe if I was watching on a week in, week out basis like the rest of you, I might have hated this show. But the fact that this was the first show that I've seen in a month, so all these feuds are new to me. I'm just, getting into them. I'm just finding out what everything is about right now. Just for that fact. And the fact that this show actually, everything, I said 80% of the show was working towards something at SummerSlam. It wasn't just 70% filler bullshit like Raw usually is. Mostly everything on the show was working towards a match at SummerSlam or something going into SummerSlam, furthering a feud. So it was a decent show for me. It wasn't as horrible as a lot of other people make it out to be. So let's go right into it. The show starts off with John Cena coming out. Brock Lesnar came back last week, and it was announced that it would be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at SummerSlam. The thing is, I think the original plans were for Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan, which would have made a lot more sense. Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan for the title at SummerSlam. You have a clear-cut heel, a clear-cut face. It just would have made sense with Brock Lesnar's character at this point. After he's defeated the Streak, he should be the most hated fucking person on the roster. But by having him go against John Cena here, instead of him being this monster heel, he's now a face by default because nobody likes John Cena. And that's the problem with this feud for me, is that you have Brock Lesnar, he, beats The Undertaker's undefeated streak, beats Undertaker at WrestleMania, and now it's for what point? If anything, it's to book him as a monster heel, a heel that every fucking person can hate, everybody wants to see get defeated. But now Brock Lesnar is now the face in this feud by the default because it has John Cena involved in it. And that's, the problem with John Cena is he makes every person he faces turn into a face and he becomes the heel. So, this just doesn't make sense to me. It's so what? For the fans, so what that Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker streak? That doesn't matter. All that matters is somebody take the title off John Cena, and that's just not, a good foundation to base a rivalry, to base a feud on, to base your biggest match of the summer on. So, I know the plans were originally for Brock Lesnar to be against Daniel Bryan, which would have made a lot more sense, but, WWE, it was, it wasn't their fault that Daniel Bryan got hurt. So now they have to do Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. And then the fact that Brock Lesnar couldn't even fucking be there for this show. Already he's missing a weekend. It's not like SummerSlam is a month away. It's less than a month away. It's right now is the 30th. It's fucking 18 days away. So, he can't be missing fucking shows at this point. I just don't understand this. What is he doing? It's not like he has a fucking second job, that he's working at McDonald's, that he can't take off from McDonald's to come to Raw, that night. So what is the problem here? What is the problem with showing up for 4 shows, a pay-per-view, and then not doing it anymore? Why do you have to only show up for 2 of those 4 shows or 3 of those 4 shows? It just doesn't make sense. If you're working fucking 10 dates a year, why you can't show up to, all the weeks, culminating for your feud, for your rivalry, for your fight. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. And it hurts the fucking feud. And, I'm watching this, what is John Cena going to fucking fight Paul Heyman at SummerSlam? So, John Cena comes out, talks about how, everybody's happy that Brock Lesnar is going to beat up John Cena and all this. And John Cena says he's going to get his ass kicked. There's no doubt about it. He's going to get his ass handed to him, but he's going to beat Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman comes out, talks about, the expected, typical stuff. Brock Lesnar's the beast incarnate, and he broke the Undertaker's undefeated streak. He's going to mangle and embarrass John Cena. And John Cena talks about how, Brock Lesnar, he's a beast, he's a monster, but one thing he doesn't have is the heart, and John Cena has the heart, and, Brock Lesnar's got to beat the last breath out of John Cena because John Cena's going to walk out with the belt. I thought it was a better than usual promo from John Cena. Especially, the closing lines. He was actually, you kind of were buying his serious approach to it for once. Instead of like that hokey jokey serious like overacting bullshit. But it was a better than average promo from John Cena. But the fact that Brock Lesnar wasn't there just hurt this shit a lot. It really fucking did. And then you have Cesaro come out. So apparently since I've been gone, Cesaro and Paul Heyman are no longer manager and wrestler anymore team. So but Cesaro defends Paul Heyman, has an impromptu match versus John Cena. Good promo from Cesaro saying that Cena can't wrestle and all this. He's a walking billboard. He gets his shoes from Kmart. The good promo from Cesaro. And the match was really good. It went on for a long time, like 25 minutes. A lot of good reversals. Yes, Cena won, but did anybody fucking expect Cesaro to win in this match? I mean, it would have made no sense for Cesaro to win at this point. If you're having John Cena go against, the biggest monster heel in the WWE, or the biggest monster face, the way the WWE puts himself in the corner by having this. But you have John Cena going against, a machine like Brock Lesnar. Why would you have him lose to Cesaro here? That would make no sense. So I don't care that Cena won. It was a really good match, though. So yeah, match was really good. The star of the show, not having Brock Lesnar there, hurt it, but John Cena, did his best in the promo at least. So, kind of a 50-50 type of deal for the whole opening segment for me. What else did you get? Oh, so since I've been gone, we've got a whole like Paige and AJ Lee rivalry going on. And you know what? Judging from this week, I'm very fucking much into it. When I left, Paige was like the most bland motherfucker. She was as boring as her fucking skin color was, as plain as her skin color was, just nothing there. She didn't even do fucking promos. Just her matches were just the same old shit. 3 minutes of nothing happening, and then she'd do that, submission move, whatever it's called, like the scorpion lock thing. But here we go. We actually fucking have, a women's feud, a Divas feud going into SummerSlam, and I like it a lot. AJ Lee being the face, Paige being the heel. So there was a match last week where, Paige beat down AJ Lee even though they were tag team partners, and Paige comes out this week to say, she couldn't get a hold of her emotions, and her emotions got the best of her. She didn't mean it. AJ Lee is still her best friend. And then AJ Lee comes out and starts insulting Paige. Paige calls her AJ Lee crazy, and then they start fighting. But, good job for Paige. 1 month ago being the most boring, just disappointing diva because she had a lot of hype coming onto the main roster. And now, actually being interesting, actually having something to work with, And also, kudos to the WWE for giving her something to work with, giving her something of interest, something of substance, rather than just, filler, pointless matches week in and week out. And Paige being a heel is a lot better than Paige being, just a generic, nameless face. I like it a lot. Good stuff from both women. And it just goes to show, if you give these new talents the right fucking material, they will fucking impress you. What could Paige have done a month ago, 2 months ago, when she was just facing these fucking divas for no reason in 2-minute matches? But now that she has something to work with, she's actually putting in a good effort. She's putting in good work. So, yes, this is a good feud. I like this a lot, and I'm actually fucking very interested in seeing this match, Paige versus AJ Lee at SummerSlam. for the Divas title. What else you got? You got the other big thing happening throughout the night is Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella. So Stephanie McMahon apparently got arrested last week for slapping Brie Bella. And Stephanie comes out this week. She wants to call out Brie Bella to, set the record straight, to get her to drop the charges against her and all this. And this is in the 1 hour main event. We have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in the ring. And they're calling out Brie Bella. And instead Chris Jericho comes out. And Chris Jericho starts making fun of Stephanie McMahon. Harkening back to the Attitude Era when he would do this all the time, when him and The Rock would just take turns insulting Stephanie McMahon. So I liked it. It was kind of a nostalgia feel. It made sense to all the history that these two had. Chris Jericho calling her, skanky, bottom-feeding, trash bag hoe. Classic line from the past, bringing it back here. So I like this segment. I liked it a lot. Having Chris Jericho there, it just brought something different to it. Felt, like revisiting the Attitude Era for a second. And then he says, Chris Jericho tells Triple H he wants a match against Bray Wyatt. And Triple H gives him the match at SummerSlam. And while Chris Jericho is still, looking down at the ring, Seth Rollins comes from behind. And here's Chris Jericho in the back with the briefcase. And Triple H makes the match. Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho later on tonight. So, I like the segment a lot. Having Chris Jericho come out here and do the whole, Stephanie insulting shtick was good. And, kind of a tease thing with having Brie Bella come out. And they saved it for later on tonight. And I'll get back to that whole segment later on for the main event of the night. So, good segment. And then, the travesty of all fucking travesties. Just like the biggest fucking head scratcher here. What really pissed me off. This, to me, was more shocking than The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania being conquered. Was Bo Dallas's singles match undefeated streak being conquered by our fucking truth. What? Why? Why? This, Bo Dallas, for me, was one of the only fucking things that I had any interest in a month ago when I was, getting to the point where I would stop watching the show. Bo Dallas was one of those only things that I, was unique for me, where I actually laughed at, where I was excited to see whenever he came out, to see that, over the top, positive guy, done in a heelish way, over the top goody two shoes, talking about how it's okay, you didn't beat me, but you're still going to be a champion of life. You just have to believe. It was just great. It was fucking phenomenal. You have the streak going, and you keep going with it. And then you just have R-Truth fucking, why? Why even go 18 and Bo? What was it all for? And that's what it is with the WWE these days. It's that is the mantra. That is, the whole quote of the WWE. That is their tagline. What was it all for? WWE, what was it all for? That's that's their line, because it just doesn't make sense, the shit they do. What was the Brock Lesnar defeating Undertaker's undefeated streak? What was that all for if you're going to have him now play a face against John Cena pretty much? What was Bo Dallas' streak? What was it all for if you're just going to have R-Truth beat it at 18 and Bo, and now it just doesn't fucking mean anything. Bo Dallas instantly loses a lot of his, interest and credibility and his unique character. That's what most of his character was fucking based on, was that undefeated streak. So why? Why? And to R-Truth, somebody that, like Bo Dallas said, has lost a lot of fucking matches. A lot of matches. I mean, are you going to make R-Truth a fucking champion? No. You're going to do nothing with him. So what was it all for? It was all for nothing. It was all just, knee-jerk fucking booking. Just at the fucking moment, they don't know what to do. Oh, let's make Bo Dallas lose. It's just, I hate this shit. It's just, how could you be so stupid to make these fucking decisions? It's I just don't get it. I really do. And it's upsetting. It is. Because this is something that was different, that was fun, that was unique, and now it's just gone. It's just gone like that. You know, it's like if you know you're a little kid, and you know your parent, you know they give you a bag of Skittles, and you know you start eating the Skittles, and then you know you eat like 4 Skittles, and you're all happy, and you put your hand in for more, and your parent just takes it away and throws it in the trash. It's like, why? Why would you fucking do that? You know, it's your kid. You know, WWE, these are your fans. Why are you doing that to your fans? Parents wouldn't do that to their kids, you know? It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, like, could you imagine WCW? I'm sorry to talk about this for so long, but this is kind of a big fucking deal for me. But, you know, WCW just like having Goldberg go to 18 and saying, you know what, fuck it. You know, I'm getting tired of Goldberg winning these matches. Let's just have him lose a match. You know? WCW, you want WWE always wants to talk about WCW ruins everything. At least WCW had the balls, had the mindset, had the fucking go, you know, had the green light in their fucking head to make Goldberg go all these fucking, you know, 100 plus, 150 plus winning streak, undefeated streak. It's just, it's ridiculous. It really is. Easily the fucking low light of the night. What else you got on this show? You got Rusev versus Jack Swagger. And, hold on, let me turn the air. It's getting fucking hot in here. For everything that I hated about Big E fighting Rusev, this is the way it should have been done in the first place. Big E doesn't represent America at all. Jack Swagger does. Zeb Coulter does. And Big E can't talk. Zeb Coulter definitely fucking can. This is a good fucking feud. I like it a lot. Easy face, easy heel. Whereas with Big E and Rusev, it's like both these motherfuckers suck. You know, who do I cheer for? But Jack Swagger easily represents America. You have the great mic skills of Zeb Coulter behind him. And you have Rusev here with Lana. Great fucking feud. Nice build up and a match I am excited to see at SummerSlam. I never thought I'd be excited to see a Rusev match. But this is just one of those where it's so simple and so easy to, you know, to make, to book. It's just so simple, but it's good that way. It doesn't have to be all convoluted and all complex and all this, you know, crazy shit. It's good the way it is, this simple America versus Russia, and two guys to be the poster boys for their respective countries. Makes sense. Like it a lot. A good match going into SummerSlam, I think. Then you get Chris Jericho. Oh, before we get to the Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins match, you got Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. So Roman Reigns apparently cost Randy Orton a title match at SummerSlam last week by Roman Reigns attacking Randy Orton. And now Triple H can't trust Roman Reigns the same way that, you know, Dean Ambrose will always be there to attack Seth Rollins. So Roman Reigns has a match against Kane. Thank fucking God this wasn't an actual match. Because I was about to turn my TV off. Because this is a match I do not want to fucking see. And Randy Orton interferes. And, you know, they start going at it. Roman Reigns gets the upper hand for a little bit. But then Randy Orton just fucking demolishes Roman Reigns. Great. Fucking awesome. Randy Orton beating the shit out of Roman Reigns all over the fucking ring. All over ringside. Doing an RKO on the table. It doesn't break. Gets pissed off and does it again with the, you know, 10 times more force than it does break. Just great shit. Roman Reigns getting the fucking living hell beat out of him. Great stuff. You know, and I'm not saying that because I hate Roman Reigns. I actually like Roman Reigns. But for a while there, he was starting to look like Super Reigns, okay? He was starting to get that Super Cena booking where it's Roman Reigns versus the world and Roman Reigns conquers all. He desperately needed this beatdown. Desperately needed, and it wasn't like, you know, where, you know, Randy Orton kind of snuck up on him. Like, Roman Reigns knew Randy Orton was there, but Randy Orton just got the better of Roman Reigns, and that was much needed to stop this whole Super Cena booking with Roman Reigns. This whole I will beat everybody and conquer all. This beatdown needed to happen. Roman Reigns needed to look vulnerable, and a match Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns where if somebody told me that I would have no interest in, because of this beatdown, I actually have some interest for this match now. Of course, Roman Reigns should go over. It would be dumb if he doesn't. But good part on the WWE to, show that Roman Reigns is a vulnerable character, that he's not fucking invincible like a John Cena is. So very good segment. Like this one a lot. You also got Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. Was a good match. Was going good. And it ended in disqualification with Bray Wyatt interfering and the Wyatt family. And they just do their generic beatdown. I feel like this is every fucking feud with the Wyatt family is just this lights out, lights on, Wyatt family beats you down. Like, can we do something different here? For a family that's so weird and so off the wall, why are their beatdowns so formulaic? Why are their beatdowns so generic and not weird and not off the wall? Why is there some like fucking Charles Manson shit? Like fucking, writing symbols of, on the walls with people's blood. I know this is the Paige era, but you could do fucking something. You could do something different than just a beat down in the ring week in and week out. Do some abductions, some kidnappings, do some outside of the arena videos with, Bray Wyatt in the fucking woods, in a cabin, like, with somebody hostage. Do something different. Something that actually represents the Wyatt family, because the Wyatt family is not supposed to be generic. It's not supposed to be formulaic. They shouldn't just be beating people down. That's wasting them. So, whatever. Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt will happen. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. But, yeah, WWE just needs to do something different with the Wyatt family at this point instead of the same old fucking beatdown week in and week out. And then you get some filler bullshit like, you got, who was it? I forgot. Oh, Adam Rose versus Damien Sandow dressed up in an astronaut suit. Fuck, man. Something's never fucking changed. It really doesn't, It's like I never even left for a fucking month. And Damien Sandow gets beaten like not even 1 minute. You get, so you got some filler bullshit on this show. The fucking, the Matador motherfucker versus somebody, I can't even fucking remember. Yeah, so you got some filler stuff. I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah, these things are so fucking unmemorable that I can't even remember who the fucking Matador faced. Oh, I think it was Fandango. Yeah, it was Fandango. Summer Rain, Layla. There's this storyline where they're now together and they're like, trolling Fandango, coming out with other guys. Yeah, what a great fucking story this one is. But anyway, let's go to the main event of the night. The main event features two fucking women. Now, WWE never does this. Very rarely. I remember when they main event, Trish and Lita main evented Raw. But they rarely have two women close out the show. And of course, because it's Stephanie, you understand it more. If this was Paige and AJ Lee, that would be a real shock. But I at least, applaud the WWE for having the balls to say, you know what? Women can be as interesting as men if given the right fucking material. Because it is true. It very much is true. Think of the old days. How, Sable was just as popular as fucking Stone Cold. And that is not a exaggeration there. She was. Listen to the reactions that Sable would get. China was just as, a marvel to see as, fucking anybody else was, as The Undertaker was. So women can be as interesting as men if given the right fucking material. It's just that the WWE has failed to give the women the right material for it eons now. But now you have Stephanie and Brie Bella. And Stephanie comes out and she wants the charges of assault, battery dropped. And she calls out Brie Bella. Brie Bella comes out and says that she's not going to drop the charges. And Stephanie starts begging. And Brie Bella says she'll drop it if if she gives her sister a raise. Stephanie gives Nikki a raise. Then she says there's more. She wants to be hired. She wants to be rehired for the WWE. Stephanie kind of pulls back from this. Then Brie Bella's like, okay, see you in court. And then Stephanie eventually gives in and rehires Brie Bella. And then we get, she says she has one more condition. She wants a match at SummerSlam, and Stephanie's like, you got it. What do you want? A number one contenders match for the Divas Championship? You want a total Divas match? Anything you want. And Brie Bella says she wants a match against Stephanie McMahon. And you know, Stephanie McMahon starts freaking out. She starts crying and all this. And at this point I was like, seriously, you have Stephanie McMahon, this bossy bitch, and now she looks like this, you know, vulnerable, defenseless, fucking, you know, weak person? Basically, she's not even like a fucking playing a heel at this point, because you kind of feel bad for her because she's crying and shit. And, you know, Brie Bella's kind of putting her in this corner, so they're kind of reversing roles here. Thankfully, that's not, you know, they went the way they should have. Stephanie McMahon says, okay, you got the match and all this. And then Brie Bella is going out of the ring, and Stephanie goes up. She's making believe she's crying, and then smacks the fucking shit out of Brie Bella. You know, this was some of the best acting Stephanie has done in a while. And just, you know, the fact that Stephanie McMahon had the most interesting fucking characters work on the show, you know, that's something, you know, to say, you know, kudos and applaud Stephanie for great fucking stuff from her tonight on Raw. Not tonight because it's Wednesday, but yeah, slaps the fuck out of Brie Bella and says, I'm gonna make you my bitch. Brie Bella comes in and they start brawling. They bring out people from the back to break them up, and Triple H is holding Stephanie back, takes her out of the ring and holds her up walking down the ramp, and Stephanie keeps on saying, you're my bitch, you're gonna be my bitch. You know, it was just very fucking entertaining. One, Stephanie McMahon was fucking great. You know, usually she gets boring, but when she has the right role, when she's a full-on fucking heel, you know, she is great. And this was great work from Stephanie. You know, very much like old school Attitude Era Stephanie, where she would have some great stuff. This was good. Very fucking entertaining. You know, could definitely see, you know, the traits from Vince, her father, that rubbed off on her. You know, that heelish, you know, Vince McMahon is a douchebag scumbag. Stephanie McMahon is a fucking bitch. Worked great. You know, Brie Bella now, you know, you want to see Brie Bella get her hands on Stephanie, get her hands on the boss. And like I said, at first they were going with Stephanie McMahon crying and breaking down and pleading with Brie Bella, and you kind of felt sympathetic for her. And then she switches that on a dime, smacks the fuck out of Brie Bella, and, you know, starts calling and saying, you're my bitch. It was just great. Good fucking segment. Very fucking, you know, interesting, and kind of a shock that they closed Raw with this. That they, you know, put so much confidence in the storyline to close the show. But it's, you know, no mystery that this is WWE's second biggest match going into SummerSlam, is Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon. And I don't have a problem with it, because, you know, think about all the times Vince McMahon's matches would be, if not the second biggest match on the card for whenever they were on a pay-per-view, but sometimes also the biggest match on the pay-per-view, and they would deliver. Seeing Vince McMahon get his ass handed to him by Stone Cold, by Shane McMahon, by all these people, was, you know, a big interest for fans, was a big sight to see. So I have no problem with Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella being the second biggest match on the card, because seeing a McMahon get beat down will always be interesting. The thing is, I just hope Brie Bella could... I just wish Brie Bella was just a better actress. That's the only thing with this feud that I wish is, I wish Brie Bella could, you know, sell emotions better, could sell a story better, could just be a better actress, because that's the only thing kind of holding this back from being really phenomenal and really classic, is the fact that Brie Bella is not a good actress, that she's kind of just a face by default because she's Daniel Bryan's wife. Let's face it. The Brie Bella character, nobody gives a fuck about. The only thing people care about is that she's Daniel Bryan's wife. And that's kind of, a flaw with this. If you had a diva that was people actually had interest for, that that actually had a character that people could get behind, like, an AJ Lee or something, that would make this classic. But, you know what? All that being said, this is still, come here, this is still a good feud, and I'm very excited to see this match. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this stuff worked up to SummerSlam. So I have to say this was a decent show. Yes, there was filler shit. You had Bo Dallas's undefeated streak be destroyed for the fuck of it all. You had Brock Lesnar not even fucking show up. So, there was some shit on this show, but at least everything, or mostly everything, worked towards your pay-per-view. So, decent show. Let me know what you thought. I will do a Q&A video maybe tomorrow. I already have the questions, so you don't have to send me questions. But yeah, I'm back in action, and I'll be back doing a Raw review next week for next week's edition of Raw. As always, I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.